Welcome to the Hospital Disaster Network training for Fire and EMS. This short training module will familiarize you with the disaster net and walk you through the process of activation during an incident. This module will take less than 10 minutes to complete. It's vital that all first responders be aware of this system and how to activate it. Mass casualty incident can overwhelm EMS and the hospitals. The ability to quickly share information across the region is essential in an MCI incident. The ultimate goal is to save the most lives. Early notification is essential to ensure that victims are transported to the facilities that are most able to quickly stabilize their conditions and evenly distribute patients among the receiving hospitals, and that patients are taken to the hospitals that are prepared to manage any decontamination safely. In the greater Cincinnati region, the Hospital Disaster Network is available to coordinate patient movement through these incidents. The Disaster Net is located on Talk Group HSR6 MCI. This talk group can be programmed into any MARCS radio used by fire, EMS, hospitals, or the communication centers. The purpose of the Disaster Net is to coordinate communications regarding the distribution of victims in a mass casualty or a hazmat situation. Providing expert, factual, and timely information in a crisis situation can determine whether the response effort is a success. This also provides information to other hospitals that could either assist or receive self-extricated victims following the incident. There are two components to the Disaster Net: the radio and the web-based portion. The radio serves as the notification tool to the hospitals, providing information on the situation that's occurring on the scene. The radio is used to route patients to the appropriate hospitals using a centralized net control. The web-based component of the system is called SurgeNet. Hospitals are asked to enter their current capabilities for their emergency departments into the system once it is activated. The Disaster Net can be used for mass casualty or terrorist incidents, hazmat incidents, and this includes situations where there are no victims, but that the toxic plumes could move towards any hospital. Any large fires, hospital evacuations, or an activation of the National Disaster Medical System and EMS. Always feel free to open the Disaster Net. It's better to be prepared than not. When activated, the Disaster Net is used to notify hospitals that an incident has occurred, and hospitals are asked to enter their capabilities in SurgeNet. The hospital enters the number of each triage level that they can receive, red, yellow, or green. Hospitals cannot accept deceased patients during an incident. This is a screenshot of what the local mass casualty board actually looks like. When the hospital net is activated, each hospital has the ability to update the receiving capability. During the incident, they can update how many patients that they have received. Net Control monitors this page to assist the responders on the scene to route patients to an appropriate facility. On-scene responders will not have to view this page during an incident. The Net Control will assume control once the net is opened. Activation of the system. This is the Hospital Disaster Network process flow chart. We'll now move step by step through this process. Responders on the scene have the ability to activate the Disaster Net. You can activate the net over the radio or by telephone using your cell phones. Early notification will give the hospitals the additional time needed to prepare for the arrival of patients from the scene. Once Disaster Net is activated, the alert is issued over all radios. Hamilton County Comm Center opens the net and requests that the hospitals update their SurgeNet capabilities. Information and updates about the incident will also be relayed to all Disaster Net radios. If time is critical and the scene is ready to begin transport, there will not be a roll call of the hospitals. EMS routing officer must establish the radio or phone contact as soon as possible with Net Control so the transportation process can begin. Hamilton County Communications Center will transfer responsibility over to Net Control. Net Control is operated by UC Health's Air Care Mobile Care Dispatch Officer. Net Control will collaborate with the scene to determine the destination of the victims based on the SurgeNet data. Net Control will also update the scene and the hospitals as the incident progresses. Once it's determined where a victim or the victims are to be transported, the scene reports the following information to Net Control via the disaster net: the unit name and number, the number of patients, triage level, hospital destination, and any special needs of the victims, whether they are pediatric, obstetric, or burn victims. Communicating these are needed to route the patients to the hospitals that have these specialized services. By using DisasterNet to coordinate incident operations and transportation, EMS will not need to contact any emergency departments directly. The destination hospital will acknowledge the receipt of the victims by the information over the radio. When DisasterNet is activated, there is to be no radio traffic to occur between EMS and an individual hospital. All patients are transported. Hospitals will continue to update the SurgeNet, indicating the number of patients received and how many patients that they can still accept. Once all the patients have been transported, the scene will notify Net Control. Net Control will then request to close DisasterNet. Hamilton County Communication Center will officially close the net. Net Control will then conduct a reconciliation of transport numbers with the scene and with the hospitals. If you wish more information or access to the entire guidance document, you can go to the Health Collaborative's website and look for DisasterNet training. Thanks for taking the time to learn about the disaster network and how it can efficiently assist you in patient movement. Any questions you have about the system, please direct them to the Health Collaborative staff, or if you request on-site training, we're more than happy to provide that. Thank you.